Hawthorne Mansion had stood empty for almost 100 years. Its old stone walls were covered in vines and the windows were broken, giving it a creepy, forgotten look. The house had a dark reputation. Over the years, people had come to explore it ghost hunters, curious teenagers, and thrill seekers. But no one had ever found anything more than strange noises and spooky feelings. That was until last October, when something terrifying was caught on camera. Ale was a YouTuber who loved to explore haunted places. He had heard the story about Hawthorne Mansion. In 1921, the wealthy Whitelock family who lived there disappeared without a trace. The house was found just as it had been left. The dinner table was set and the lights were still on, but the family was gone. No one knew what happened to them, and rumors of ghosts haunting the manor spread through the town. Ellie was determined to find proof of paranormal one cold October night. He and his team, two friends Jana and Mike, decided to spend the night at Hawthorne Manor, hoping to catch something on camera. Armed with night vision cameras, microphones, and flashlights, they entered the old mansion. The inside was just as eerie as the outside. Dust covered every surface, and the air was thick with the musty smell. The floorboards groaned under their feet as they walked down dark hallways. They set up their cameras in different rooms, hoping to capture something strange while they explored the house. At first, nothing happened. Hours passed with only the sound of the wind blowing through broken windows and the occasional creak of the house settling. But around midnight, the air suddenly felt colder. Jana, who was standing near the grand staircase, said she felt like someone was watching her. Ali brushed it off, thinking it was just nerves, but then something strange happened. Mike, who was filming the hallway, noticed a shadow move across the far end. Even though no one was there, he called out to Ali and Jana, who rushed over. They played the footage on his camera, and sure enough, a tall, dark figure seems to glide across the hallway, disappearing into a wall. Maybe it's just a wind or a trick of the light, Ali said, though he didn't sound convinced. They decided to follow where the shadow had gone. As they walked down the hallway, their flashlights flickered and the air grew even colder. They turned a corner and found themselves in front of a large wooden door. It was slightly open, though none of them had touched it. I don't remember this door being here, Jana whispered. They pushed the door open and stepped into a room that looked like it had been touched in decades. Dusty furniture lined the walls, and in the center of the room was a large dining table, just like in the stories. The table was still set, plates and silverware perfectly arranged, as if the family had just stepped away for a moment. But it was the mirror on the far wall that made them freeze in place. In the mirror's reflection, they could see themselves, but there was something else, a dark figure standing behind them. They spun around, but the room was empty. Panic started to set in. Jana gasped, her eyes wide with fear, and pointing out the mirror. The figure was now closer, right behind Ali. Without thinking, Ali grabbed his camera and ran out of the room. Jana and Mike right behind him. They raced down the hallway, but as they reached the front door, it slammed shut in their faces. Something heavy banged against it from the other side, as if trying to keep them in. Terrified, they bolted for the back door, praying it wasn't locked. And they reached it. They heard soft whispering voices behind them. They didn't dare look back. Ali pushed the door open and they all tumbled out into the cold night air, slamming the door behind them. When they finally made it back to the car, they sat in stunned silence, trying to catch their breath. Ali looked down at his camera, still recording. Later, when they reviewed the footage, they saw it again, the dark figure in the mirror, standing behind them, watching their every move. The video went viral and people all over the world debated whether it was real or a clever hoax. But Ali and his friend knew the truth. Something was still in Hawthorne Manor, and it wasn't ready to let anyone leave.